Hey guys, it is KJ Del Rey, aka Lady in Red. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing another episode of our Nightshade Hour podcast. This is number 3, going on episode 3, and today we have our very special guest, and the very first guest that I've ever had on a podcast. My very good friend Vigilante on YouTube. He's in my featured channels list, but we just call him Alex. So if you want to say hi.
Yo, what's up? It's the double V, also known as the W. What?
What does the W mean, though?
If it's two V's and you combine them together, they look like a W. Like get a piece of paper, you write two V's, and like you stick them together, like you glue them together, and it looks like a W.
You know, when you say that, it reminds me of that one SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob has, what is that guy, the merman's belt or whatever, and then Patrick turns it upside down. He's like, you Wumbo, I Wumbo.
It's Wombology, KJ.
That's what it reminded me of. I don't know why. But anyways, the topics that we have picked out this week are going to be a little bit more on the personal side, but we're still going to have fun with it. There's no crying. There's no, like, sad vibes or anything, because we're all about just, you know, having fun and etc., etc. So whether you're on your way to work right now, you're waking up and you're drinking your coffee, or on your way to school, on your way home from work, whatever the case may be, we are here for you and we're going to talk about some things. So, one topic that Alex wanted to write in my ear, Alex.
Oh, I thought I muted. I knew it was coming. I'm sorry.
It's okay. One thing that Alex wanted to talk about was he brought this idea up to me, and at first I wasn't too sure about it because I thought it might be a little too personal, but we're going to talk about it anyways. We're going to talk about our very first loves, or the first people that we ever had crushes on. So, do you want to take it away, or do you want me to start?
I'll take this topic offhand. Well, first, like, to know me, when I was in high school, like, a tree could have had, like, a note saying date me, and I would have, like, ran up to it and accepted. Mm-hmm. So I had, like, a crush on, like, anybody. But, like, the first time I actually was more, like, involved with a girl, but I think was, like, it was my second last year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I was about to say the name, I'm not going to say it. So, it was with a girl that I was starting to get, like, really interested in. It started with, like, I was in English class, and we were taking turns reading, and I was just like, yo, this book's fucking boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, the conversation went on from there. And eventually I got the digits. Let's go.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I never officially dated her, but, like, I've, like, went out of my way to, like, make plans of, like, us going out and like, going to places to eat, but we never really called it a date.
Mm-hmm. You just, like, go hang out.
Yeah, just to chill.
Mm-hmm.
And, what was it? The first time I asked her to meet me somewhere, it was a Chinese restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I remember I was sweating as I was getting over there because I think I was about to be a bit late. I don't know, in my mind I thought if I was 1 minute late, like, the whole future would have just shattered.
Mm-hmm.
But I got there, she wasn't there yet, and then I see my mom and my oldest brother over there.
So random.
Yeah, like, that was the one place, that was, like, the two people I didn't even expect to be there. And like, first thing is, like, I obviously didn't want them there when I was going to meet this girl. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why I didn't just tell them, like, straightforward right away, because I was, like, trying to tell them in, like, fucking Morse code.
Right, like, get out.
Yeah, I was like, they probably saw me blink rapidly for the letters. But eventually I just had to be like, yo, I'm meeting another girl, and they're like, oh shit. Word. So then they just left, and then she arrived like a minute later, and I just decided to use that as an icebreaker. I was like, yo, like my mother and my brother were here. What up?
Right.
Yeah, it's like they God gave me an icebreaker at that moment. I got to use it like a trap card.
How did you guys, are you guys like still in contact, or what happened to where you guys don't talk anymore or stop
Oh,
going out?
oh no, she just stopped talking. I think she just wasn't interested
She
like
just
later on.
ghosted. Yeah.
It was like with me, I'm like when I was there with her and we were talking, it was actually really fun. But when I'm in text, like I'm a fucking zombie.
You kind of are, and I don't mean that as an insult. Like, you are amazing to talk to, as we're talking right now, but through text, you're very short. But, I understand that. I like to think that I'm the same way, when it goes to texting. I hate texting for that reason, because there's just more, I'm more interesting when you can hear my voice.
Yeah, for all I know, I'm about to take a class on how to text the right way.
Literally, like I look up ways, like if I'm talking to somebody who I'm interested in, I will Google like how to keep a conversation going over text, or I'll write down, it sounds really pathetic, but I write down like things to talk about, things to ask them about, like about themselves or whatever. Like it's just I just suck at texting or whatever. I do. But my first love, I was 14, 13, 14. I'm about to be
Mm-hmm.
22, and
All
um,
right, 9 years.
oh my gosh, it doesn't even seem like 9 years. But I met this girl, and she was the first person who I ever really like came out to or whatever. Like I told her that I was interested in women or whatever, and like I didn't know how to tell my parents about it because my parents are super religious, and I just didn't think that they were gonna be okay with it or whatever. So she was mostly just like my support through it or whatever, and she helped me come
She
out.
helped you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she helped
through
me.
those days.
When I was just, discovering who I was, she was a big part of that. And I think that that was why I was so attached to her, and why no matter what she did, like I still wanted to hang out with her and I wanted to talk to her even though she was terrible. We never really dated, but for the 3 years that we were talking on and off, she was terrible to me, but I think it was just the like the just the support that she had given me when I needed it the most. It was like she was like a security blanket or whatever. Like I felt like I always needed
Mhm.
her or whatever. And then
She was she was always there to support you when what you felt like people weren't understanding you.
exactly, like I felt like nobody understood me but her. For a very long time I thought that. And how it ended was I was about 16, and I think we both just realized, well, I mostly realized because I'm the one who took the step to block her, which I never ever did. Up until that point, I blocked her because I just finally realized that what I'm waiting for, because I was waiting for her, waiting to be with her, and I'm like, I keep waiting for this person, and it's been 3 years
Mhm.
and nothing's happened, and I don't want to be at this same position when I'm like 25, because I felt like it could possibly go that long if I continued it, to happen. So
Like you
I
just wait for her to do something and just nothing ever really occurs.
exactly, like I would do all this stuff, I would give her the perfect window for her to make something to happen, but she never did, and I did it multiple times, and I just got exhausted, and I had to block her. I didn't want to, of course, but I was very happy in the long run. Maybe 3 months or 4 months after I blocked her, I ended up meeting my other ex. So I learned pretty quickly that she wasn't the only one for me, but for a long time, that's why I held on to her too, because when you go through your first love, you're like, nobody is ever gonna compare to them. I'm never gonna love somebody like them or whatever, and that's not true. You know, you love, if you're gonna have more than one partner in your life or whatever, they're all not going to be the same. You're gonna love them all in different ways, good or bad. Or you're gonna realize certain things are gonna bring out different things in you. And personally, after all of that, and 9 years later, I definitely glad that I did not end up with her, because me and her were nothing alike. And I'm happy. I don't talk to her. I haven't talked to her since I blocked her, and I'm happy with it, For a long time I wasn't, but I am now. So that's good.
Because I can definitely agree. Like, once you like find the first one, it feels great because it's the first one you've ever had. It's the first experience you've had with like a significant other or like someone else that can
Exactly.
relate to you. You might have not had that feeling before, but to that
Exactly.
extent.
Oh, of course. Like, I didn't really have any friends when I was growing up, like close friends, anyways, or anybody who I ever really opened up to, because it just wasn't in my nature for the longest time, because I just felt like people were gonna judge me, and she was the first one to, like, not judge me and to be, like, super accepting.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
just something that I wasn't used to. And when I do come across people that are, accepting and supportive, I'm the same way. I try to keep them around, but I'm very different now, because if they show me like one toxic sign, then I'm like, okay, you can leave. Like, I'm not like I what used to be at all. Like, I'm very quick to get rid of somebody if they hurt me, which is good. It's a very good trait to have. Um,
I was gonna say, like you said, you blocked this person, and
mhm.
like that was when you were 16. Did you feel like worried when you blocked them? Because I know, like when I was a child, or like when I was like I think the same age, I blocked someone not for like romantic reasons, but I blocked someone, and I thought they were just gonna fucking hunt me down. I feel like watched too many horror movies for that one.
I was
You feel?
worried. I was worried, but not in the sense to where I thought she was gonna hunt me down, because I knew that she was okay with it, because she obviously blocked me too. But I just I was worried because I was like, in 2 months, what if this just barreling feeling comes down to where I feel like I can't live without her or whatever
Ah,
again? And then it's like I blocked her, and you can't really come back from that. I mean, you can, but it's hard,
just come out of the blue. Yeah, you can't really do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's not the right thing to do. So, I was worried, and, I did have that feeling come back, obviously, very quickly after that, but I just kept telling myself, like, after I blocked her, this is literally how I was, like, at 16. I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna love anybody ever again like that, or be in love with anyone again, and I'm fine with it. Like, I said this at 16. And then I met my other ex not too long after that, and I'm like, I really like her or whatever, and like I think she's a good person or whatever, but I don't know if I can be in love with her, because every time like I think about love, I would think about my first love, and it was just like, I couldn't. Eventually, I could, picture love without her, which is very amazing now. But for a long time, I couldn't. It probably took me maybe 10 months after I blocked her to fully like get rid of the missing thought,
Yeah.
kind of.
Hmm.
It does take a
That
long time.
yeah, for well, I guess other people like maybe it's constant, but usually after the first time, it's way harder to just think of someone else or to get
Yeah.
like attached to someone else without them being in the back of your mind because I think maybe you have that thought of this is what it could have became, like
Mhm.
or something like that, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah, and with my romantic relationships now, which I don't have any romantic relationships right now, that I'm currently working on or anything, but if I ever like anybody now, I just would picture them. Like the person that I like now, not my first love, not my other ex, not any other person I've ever taken out or anything like that. Which I think is a very good, thing to have. And if I am thinking about an ex, which I don't really do anymore, it's very rare if I do, but if I am, I'm not involving somebody else in that, because that's terrible to do.
Hmm.
But continuing on about when we were younger, what were you like when you were in high school, which was not that long ago for you because you just recently
Yeah.
graduated?
Oh, geez, like compared to now, I'm a lot more different. Back then, like I think during like the first half, like that first arc, I was way more shy. Like I was a little bitch. I wouldn't even raise my hand for answers that I knew. Like the teacher could have asked me 2 plus 2, and I would have like told the person next to him, yeah, you know it, and like force it onto them. Like I would not want to talk, and then eventually, uh, I think during my third year, I was getting a bit more confident, but like I didn't really show it. I just felt more confident in myself. In myself.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just a fly went by me, but man, just knew what I was talking about. But I was
Yeah.
definitely more confident, but I never really showed it. But I was all right with who I was. And during the fourth year, I just went fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
like if someone like I just always went with the flow, no matter kind of what happened. And like I wasn't exactly popular, but like I was talking to way more people just because I was more willing to get into a conversation.
Right.
And what was it? There were classes that I didn't have original friends in. You know, like I had friends past year, but they're not in these classes. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have them, but I was able to make them. As with other years, if I didn't have them, I was just fucking left in the dust.
Right. You would just be very secluded and introverted if you like went into a class and like no kid that you knew from a previous year was in there. You would just be in there by yourself.
hmm There was what was it? There was this dude in one of my college creative writing classes, and he sat next to me, and we always like had these like goofy conversations, like the ones I have now, where I'm talking about some random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was able to make friends there. Uh, there was another instance where I was in an economics class, and I guess this could also tie in with before, but it was like a girl that I don't know, like I could have gotten further with. I just didn't even know. But
Mm-hmm.
there was one time I remember like us hanging out like a lot more and getting more talkative, but I never made it something. Never made it like go further.
Mm-hmm. Because were you focused on maybe were you focused on like maybe school more or work or something else?
I didn't do any of my homework, KJ.
I
I
don't know. You seem like you're book smart. You're always talking about college and stuff. I figured that you had good grades. I don't know.
like because that year I spent most of it. It was like the first half where I spent most of it gaming, and then I was like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
yo, college is coming up. It was like I had a revelation as if I didn't know what college was, as if it just started up.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you still game quite a bit, even now that you're in college, I think you just like overestimated. You're like, when I go to college, I'm gonna have no time. But you're like, it's kind of like high school.
Well, I think the main thing is COVID because right now I have them online. Like
Mm-hmm.
right now, I could just put on my class, go to bed, and I'll wake up 10 minutes before it ends, and then like be ready to exit so they don't know I'm sleeping.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. A lot of people will say that they'll go to sleep in their Zoom classes and they'll wake up and it'll almost be over and they don't even know like what happened. And that is worrying. Like it's cool now, but if this pandemic lasts for another 5 to 10 years, which I'm God willing hoping doesn't happen, but if it does happen, that's going to be really bad because then, obviously kids won't be getting education and all that good stuff that they're going to be needing for the rest of their life. Yes, I always say that, school isn't that important, but when you're younger, when you're in like middle school and elementary, it's very important. So I hope that this pandemic does not pan out past than what it already has. So hopefully within the year of 2021, we get that vaccine and the vaccine is good and it does something and, we can become normal again and not have to do all this oddball stuff.
hmm So like that's kind of why I have enough time, but but in general back then, first 2 years, well, I was a rat. uh, I third year I was getting more confident. It's pretty much like a part two of the first 2 years. And then the last year, like I said, I just went nuts. I was all right. I was just chilling with anyone.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't exactly like someone that everyone thought of, but it's like if
Mhm.
I was there, they didn't mind.
I think it's the same with me. I think it was the same then for me and the same now for me. Like, if somebody invites me to the game, everybody's like, "Oh, hey, KJ," or whatever. Like, they're fine with me being there or whatever. I'm not necessarily thought of by everyone,
No
but
one does like a like football touchdown scream when you get there.
not really, unless it's like maybe you. You're like that with me. Which she literally is, which is why I think we're friends, because you're the one who's always like, KJ.
Yeah.
But I think I was the complete opposite when I was in freshman through senior year, which I didn't even make it to senior year, but I don't even know if I made it to junior year. I don't even remember what happened. I dropped out when I was 15. So, and I think what I was doing in freshman year had a lot to do with why I dropped out. But when I was 14, I don't remember how this started or anything, but I was just like, I just want to rebel. You know, like I just want to party and I just want to hang out with people who are way older than me, people who I really shouldn't be hanging out with. And
Hmm.
smoked weed. That was mostly the only thing that I did, was really smoke weed when I was that young, which I do not condone. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed or anything, but when you're 14, yeah, there's because your brain's not really fully developed yet,
Yeah.
and weed is gonna slow you down a lot. Not saying it's gonna like damage you or anything, but just take a look at me. I smoked weed all the time when I was 14 and 15, and look at me, I'm a little slow. Like, you could just tell, like, I'm a little slow when it comes to thinking and math problems and everything, which is why, like I said, I dropped out when I was 15 or whatever. And, I, um, I never drank too much, but the times I did drink heavily influenced me not drinking nowadays, because I got wasted twice when I was 14, and I said, who would ever want to do that? That's not fun at all, because what I did, and this is going to sound really bad, and people are going to be like, how did you not die? And the question is, and my answer to that, I don't know. But what happened was, I went to a friend's house. I think I skipped school or skipped homework or something, because I was homeschooled at the time. So I think I
Hmm.
skipped it, and I just went over to his house, and he had vodka or whatever, and I didn't eat anything. So I had an empty stomach, which is one thing that you're not supposed to do when you drink, especially hard liquor. And he started pouring shots or whatever, and how I was back then, I was very, show off. Like, I had to outdrink everybody. I had to be the highest person in the room. I had to, stupid. So I took like 4 vodka shots on an empty
Hmm.
stomach, and then we went downstairs in his basement, and we were playing, I think, the GTA 5 on the 360, because he had a 360. I had a PS3, but he had a 360.
I
And
forgot that. Never mind. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say how the GTA 5. I forgot started on 360 and it's now on the PS5.
It started on the 360 and the PS3, and now they're transporting it to the PS5. Freaking
Yeah.
outrageous, but anyways, he had brought me a beer down there, so I drank like maybe half a beer, and then
Hmm.
just the worst feeling I've ever felt. Like, I was just sitting on his recliner, and like I leaned back, and I just felt my stomach like just doing the whirlwinds of like spins, and the room was tilting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm about to die. Like, I'm like, to this day, no feeling has ever came through my body like that. I'm like, I feel like I'm about to like have a seizure or something. Like, I was actually like terrified.
Hmm.
And the only thing I knew to do, because I knew I was gonna throw up, was I went in his bathroom and I closed the door. Thank God I closed the door. Um, I was so drunk and so out of it. I think I'd smoked weed too, so I was probably drunk. I was trifaded, what they call it.
Hmm.
And I thought that the toilet seat or the toilet lid was up so I could throw up in it, but it wasn't. And
You just blasted that bad boy.
I just blasted all over the toilet. And I think then after I did it, I realized that I blasted on the toilet, so then I blasted in this all over the sink too. I don't know why I did that. I was very wasted, so I think that's why. And then I just laid on the floor. Thankfully, I laid on my side because I was still going when I was laying on the floor. And um, then my sister calls me, and my sister didn't know that I was doing all this, and she knew that I could get cigarettes like very easily from my friends or whatever, and my sister smokes, and she was like, could you give me a cigarette like on the way home? Like I just got off work, I don't have any, I don't feel like getting any. Could you go get me a cigarette? And I was at my friend's house and he smoked cigarettes. He smoked the same brand as her. So I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I was like, oh yo man, I gotta go home. Can I bum a cigarette? I didn't tell him that I threw up in his bathroom, and I didn't clean it up.
Sounds like you left a little Easter egg
Yeah,
behind
I
there.
left a little something in his bathroom, and the next day I don't even know why he continued to be friends with me after that, because he was like, I was like, did you clean up the bar from the bathroom yesterday? And he was like, yeah, it was pretty gross. I mean, it was basically just like body fluid. Like, it was basically just like a Left 4 Dead spitter, just like spit all over the bathroom.
Just a bloater that's already been destroyed.
Literally. And he was just like, I don't know how you didn't die. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. I'm never drinking again.
Word. I.
I was like, I'm
Right.
never drinking again. And, to this day, I don't drink hard liquor because every time I smell vodka, that whole day just plays back in my head. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'll just have a beer, or I'll just have a Mike's Hard or something like that. I can get drunk off that and be fine, but I don't like throwing up from being drunk. Like, it's just such a gross feeling.
When it came to me and like drinking, I never drank, but like I guess it's the same as like my high school years. Like the first 2 years, I never drank. Like I never drank. Period. But the reason I didn't drink those times was because I was like, yo, if I drink, I'm going to hell.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it was the same thing with me.
like I feel like if I took one hit, I was gonna black out immediately. Like that, I know that's not true now, but like at the time, I swore to God, I would have just blacked out no matter what. And now, uh, there was one time my parents gave me this, like it was in front of my parents, so I was like, I might as well go for it. They allowed me. It was like a coffee alcohol mixture.
Like a
And I
Bailey's.
took, yeah, I took a sip, and then right after that, I went straight to the fucking sink to spit that out. I did not like it, and there forward on, I was like, yo, I just don't want to drink because this shit's ass.
Mhm.
So like that's the only reason I don't do it anymore. Like I just don't think I would like it at all. Like maybe I didn't try the good one, maybe, but like the one I had just made me not want to do it whatsoever.
Maybe you're just like me. Maybe you just would like a fruity drink, or Cosmo, or whatever they call
I,
them.
I'm not gonna lie, I am not opposed at all to making like those fruity drinks. I'm like I cook a bit, and I like so I'm kind of want to try making stuff like that once I'm 21.
They're good. I mean, but those are the ones that you got to be careful with, because those are the ones that will sneak up on you, because they taste amazing. It tastes like there's no alcohol in it, but there's like tons of alcohol in it, so you got to be careful with them. But that's
Then you
usually
still gotta mitigate it.
exactly, and that's usually the kind of stuff that I drink, because I don't really like beer, or I don't drink hard alcohol, so I just would drink that kind of stuff. And it works for me, but I don't drink Four Locos. Four Locos literally like kills people, so I don't.
Oh shit.
I stay away from that. But we were also talking about road trips that we have been on, and we both had a trip in mind that literally ruined the vibe, killed the vibe,
I'm not gonna
and
lie, I kind of forgot.
And I think I'll start this one. So this was back when in 2014, October of
Mhm.
2014, and um, my mom, my dad, and my sister, they were going down to Dallas, Texas. I live in northern Illinois. Dallas, Texas, from where I live, is like I don't know the exact time, but it's probably well over 16, 18 hours drive.
Mhm.
And we were going to pick up somebody there and bring them back to Illinois. That was the thing. And my dad was trying to do it the quickest and the cheapest way because obviously
Oh.
it wasn't like a vacation. It was like a freaking drug smuggle, basically. Like, not literally, but that's what it felt like because we were rushing to get there and rushing back. And so the first day, day one of why I don't like being in a car ride for more than 6 hours. We left at like 6 a.m. and
Yeah.
we didn't get there until 9 or 10 at night, and we got Whataburger because we were in Texas, and
Mhm.
it's another thing that I'll never be able to eat again because I went in the bathroom, I threw up the Whataburger because I was so sick, like so car sick, like just
Uh-huh.
being in that purgatory car for hours. I was just like, ugh, I'm so sick. I felt like I was gonna die, and then the next day my dad was like, okay, we're not gonna do that full route again because I think it practically killed all of us and took a chunk of our soul away.
Yeah, we almost lost KJ that route.
Yeah, and my dad wasn't feeling too hot either. And so that time we went like halfway. We stopped in Memphis, Tennessee, and then on day three
Mhm.
we went back and we got back to Illinois safe and sound. But girl, that road trip is what made me not want to be in a car ride for more than 6 hours. Like
You
the
despise
only
him now.
yeah, like if like I have family that lives down in Tennessee, and the only reason I don't go and see them is because that's such a freaking long ride down there or whatever. But I'll go and I'll visit my brother who lives in Michigan because that's only like a 6 hour drive. I'm like, that's my limit, like I can handle that.
Like what? If you go over 6 hours, do you just fucking explode?
Yeah, like, because that's what um, the drive to Texas was. Because once we got to St. Louis, Missouri, which is 5 hours, but 4 hours from where I live or something like that, I was
Mhm.
starting to kind of get like, like I don't want to be here. Like I just don't feel
I want to be out.
comfortable. Yeah, like I want to be out. Like I want to be where I am. I don't like being in a car for a long time. It's just I start feeling claustrophobic or whatever, and it's not good.
As long as I can sleep in the car, I'm good. I had my DS when I was younger,
Mhm.
so I was fine when I had that. Like, like we could have drove over the ocean, and as long as I had my DS, I would have been fine. I think.
I think that's the reason too why I don't like being in a car for more than 6 hours because like I can't. What a lot of people don't know about me, but this is a very strange fact about me. I can't really sleep anywhere besides a bed.
Hmm.
Like, and it has to be like if I go and visit family and they're like, "Oh, you can stay at my house or whatever. You can sleep on my couch." Like I'll be like,
You better have a bed.
they better have a bed. It better be like a king size, queen size bed, and I better have that all to myself.
Oh
If I
yeah.
gotta like, because the last time I went to Tennessee, I had to share a bed with my sister, and like, I love my sister, but like, I'm like, I don't want to share a bed with anyone when I'm this tired. Like, only with like my significant other would I want to do that with. Even then, I'd be like, get the hell off me. I'm not cuddling you. Go to bed.
Sleep in separate rooms and shit.
You're sleeping on the floor. We'll take turns, whatever.
Oh
But
no.
yeah, I can't. With the last when I went to Michigan last time, or not last, but when I was coming back from Tennessee, I think I fell asleep in the car for like an hour or two, which is very weird. But I guess if I was so exhausted and I was so cozy, then I could. But it's hard, to say the
Mm.
least.
Yeah, I can. I guess I can understand that. I don't know. I'm just an ogre that can just sit, that can sleep anywhere.
But what was that trip that you were saying? It was that hotel thing that you were telling me about.
Oh, it wasn't exactly like anything special. It was like every summer we went to this boardwalk area. It's like, and they had hotels nearby, and they had donuts like every morning for free. Either that or the fucking tooth fairy of donuts went there every morning. But
The tooth fairy of donuts.
yeah, the tooth fairy, but for donuts. And they had donuts there every morning. I pretty much expected it. I kind of became like, that felt like a privilege at that point.
Literally, like you felt
But
like you were at like the white folks country club or something. Like it was such a
yeah,
privilege.
I felt like I had my own yacht.
Right.
But like, but shit, what was I gonna say? We had to go to obviously a specific hotel for it, and there was one year where my parents never actually like made what an appointment or like scheduled the motels or the hotels. We just
Reservation.
yeah, we just went there, said what's up. They said what's up. Here's your room, if there was one. And then we got it, but there was no more room. So then we were about to sleep in our car for one night because we saw another motel, but we're like, that shit's dirty. We're not going there. But then my I think I don't know which parent it was. Maybe it was both of them. Maybe they both hated the car. They were like, yo, fine, we give in. And then we went to that crummy ass hotel. For all I know, it was run by cockroaches.
It's literally like that's I think what made the Dallas trip worse for me was because I forgot. I don't know why I let this detail out. But when we
Hmm.
got to Dallas and we stayed in this motel, it was literally like we were staying in a motel that was in Watts, California. Like it was it was so ghetto. Like we went to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom and there's like nail polish like on the sink and it smelled like cigarettes in there. I'm like, no smoking my ass. There's people that smoke in here. I can smell it.
I'm smoking my fucking ass out here. All right.
Literally, I'm like, what do you mean there's no smoking? Like I smoked at the time and I'm like, I'm gonna light one up in here because like, what it already smells
No
like
rules.
it already smells like an ashtray in here. Like why does it matter? But yeah.
Oh,
Anyways.
yes. Mm. I definitely remember that. I think that was the most disappointed I was ever when I was younger.
What state was that in? Was that in New York or was that somewhere else?
Definitely not New York. Like, you know what? I'll give you a radius because I can't remember. The road trip was about like 6 hours, I believe. So like, get New York, draw a 6 hour line.
It depends on which direction, because if you go north, then you would go like up to Connecticut. Is that
No,
right?
no, no. But then that becomes a circle if you do it in every direction. So now those are the possible areas. You get me? I'm
Oh,
giving you a circle.
did you go to like New Jersey or something? No, that's too.
I have no idea. I gotta ask my parents about that one. Might have to just wake them up right now.
I'll have to get back to you guys on that. I'll have Alex
Yeah,
ask his parents if anybody really wants to know, and I'll put it
yeah,
in the comments later on or something.
yeah. If you guys want those free donuts, I got you guys.
But what we also were talking about when we were running through ideas. He asked
Mhm.
me if I liked the game Among Us,
Yeah.
and I don't like Among Us. It's not. I don't mind playing it with randoms, but I don't like playing it with friends because I don't like killing my friends and I don't like them killing me because it hurts my feelings.
Uh-huh.
And it hurts my feelings when somebody's like, Cage is the imposter. I saw her do this and I don't like lying and it's just I don't like it.
Yeah. I have like I have no idea, guys. She just can't. Either she can't lie or she doesn't want to lie. Is there a mix of
I
both?
no, it's more well, anybody can lie. I just don't like lying. You know, I'm very I don't like lying. It's a bad thing to do, you know? Like, you don't want to lie. Like, you don't want to be a compulsive liar, you know? I don't even like lying about, like, white lies or whatever. Like, I just don't like doing that, you know? It's just not who I am or whatever. And I can't even do it in a damn video game.
You sound like a Dare commercial, but for Among Us. Like if you do Among Us, you'll become a fucking criminal.
Literally, like, they need to hire me for, like, an Among Us commercial. Like, as a meme or whatever. Because, like...
That could be... There's, like, a media that's, like, against video games entirely, and I feel like you could, like, be, like, a backup for that. Like, Among Us will make you into a hardened criminal.
And it would be, like, the biggest, like, joke, because, like, I'm a live streaming video game whore.
You could make like a that like before and after type photo, like after you've played Among Us. I'd be like, this is what happens to your children after playing Among Us and some shit. I feel like that's perfect right there. I feel like we're gonna lose KJ right now. She's gotta be hired on Fiverr.
I only played it once with, like, a full squad of... It wasn't really... I mean, I know them now, but back then I didn't know them that well. It was my girl Mel and her friend... Well, my friend now. I'm saying her friend because back then it was her friend. So I didn't know these people at the time. I was just meeting them, but they're my friends now. It was Tyga, and it was a buddy Cold Dark, and Trevor, which Trevor was there. And Tufty, which y'all know who they are, they were friends, and it was Josh. Okay, so it was all of them, and it might have been a few other people, or I don't know if Sarah was there. It doesn't matter. But
I don't care anymore.
It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But I think I killed Mel, and obviously I felt bad about it, you know, because. And Cold Dark suspected, and he knew that I was the imposter, and he just started going off at me. Like, he was throwing the book at me, you guys. He made me feel so offended. Like, he made it seem like I actually, like, took a knife and slit Mel's throat, like, in real life.
The way you made it sound, it looks like you got cornered in, like, during playtime in elementary, and they took your lunch money.
Literally, it's like when you get in trouble when you're a kid and your parent just goes ape crap on you and just corners you and is yelling at you. Like, that's what it felt like, and I was just so traumatized. Like, I'm like, I lied. I killed Mel and I lied. Like, I was so upset. But, speaking of video games, me and Alex were playing Dead by Daylight the other night, and we were going against this really... Yeah, you know where I'm going. We were going against this trash spirit. And
we
when
went against a beautiful killer that was majestic.
We were going against the spirit, and she... Like, as soon as Alex got off the hook, she was getting him again. She was downing him again. And then when he got hooked again and got unhooked, she downed him immediately again. She phased walked back and hooked him, and he was dead on hook because she, like, would just not leave him alone. Like, she was tunneling him like you would never believe it. And he has the audacity... Alex, he has the audacity to message the killer and be like, well played. And I'm like, no! That's not well played. Like, why are you doing that? Like... No.
They did what they had to do.
No, because GG and well played are two different things. I still would have been upset about the GG, but the well played, it's like you're letting the killer know that what they're doing is right.
Well,
and
I'm gonna say, as a killer, like, if you give me the opportunity, I do that shit. Like, you might not like the playstyle, but, like, I sometimes do that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I can understand certain points of views of that happening.
But that one was like... That one was like, she really just didn't like you. Like, it was something with you, you know? Like, I just felt like a personal... attacked, kind of, in a way. And
You, it's for me.
yeah, I think she just had it out for you or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't think you should message them well played, because I feel like in a way it's excusing their behavior and it's making them think like, oh my gosh, this person's saying I did good. I'm gonna keep doing that, and then they're gonna come across some people who aren't gonna say well played, and some people who are gonna hack their IP address or something.
Oh shit. Well, I don't know. It's just how do well, what was I gonna say? It's just that I don't like the toxic community Dead by Daylight. I feel like it's very like there's so many people talking shit, and I just don't want to contribute to it. It's not like I'm some fucking Sumerian that's
Mhm.
like all holy. I don't want it to sound like that, but it's just I don't like it. I feel like doing that even a little is a lot better than what other people like do and can make it. I don't know, the game a bit more positive. Again, I don't hope to feel like some saint, but like it's just I
Mhm.
don't like that how it is right now.
I don't like the Dead by Daylight survivor community. I mean, it's most. I mean, there's like toxic killers, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's a majority of it is survivors. Like, coming from somebody who's versatile in the game, I do killer and survivor, but I can definitely tell you that survivors will whine more than killers do.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
just
kind of the
how.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah, like even when a killer will just like will have a certain perk on or whatever. I mean, it's the same. It goes both ways with that, because survivors get pissed off when the killer's running like hex rune and undying or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then the killer will get pissed off because oh, you use DS or whatever, like decisive strike, and it's like, well, they both. It goes both ways,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there's an offensive and defensive. Like obviously if you're a killer, the objective for the survivors is to get gens done. So you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna bring something that is going to slow down, the
Yeah.
game, so you have more of a chance to get somebody on the hook or somebody killed. And decisive strike, on the other hand, if a killer is maybe being a little too much, like just tunneling you, not leaving you alone, and they decide to down you within 60 seconds of you being just taken off the hook, that you have a chance to break free from the grab. I think it's fair. It's only 60 seconds. Like,
Well, like when it you say it's only 60 seconds, but like you like gens take about 80 seconds to complete. Oh shit. I was playing Crash, sorry. Gens take about 80 seconds to complete, and like leaving someone for 60 seconds, and like you can't just stand over them, because if you do, then you're not doing anything. Even if you're just
mm-hmm.
trying to get one person, that is only one kill. And if they have Unbreakable, then they're able to get themselves out, and that 60 seconds now turns to them being up. And like obviously, like there are cases that I will say Decisive Strike is like perfectly fine, because like someone was genuinely just going after them without like
Without
it
knowing.
being without knowing, and sometimes without it even being like the best play. Like maybe they just do it against someone that's running them fucking great, but they
Mm-hmm.
just decide to keep on going for them.
Or a
I can
survivor
understand
that's
that.
just being toxic to them, like keeps like clicking their flashlight at them and, just doing stupid stuff like that.
Hmm.
Teabagging, which is something that you shouldn't do at all in games. I find myself doing it out of pure pressure, but I'm like, I don't feel right doing this. Like, it's unless they're doing something like that to me. If they like nod at me when they to get me down, then if I get away, if I am able to teabag, then I do.
Like I don't have anything against that. There's this one guy I watch. His name's like Tur J, and he's
Mhm.
all right with getting teabag. Like he has his own like he doesn't like it happening to him, but he always says that it's like you can teabag as much as you want. He just doesn't. He just hates it when people like whine that they don't win right after, or like something happens.
Mhm. And that's
Like
very true.
like he's not against people doing it because he does it. He's just against like people whining. Like when he does it, you don't see him like whining about it.
Mhm. Right.
But like shit, was I gonna say something else? I don't know. It's just I. say GG usually just to be nice.
I do too. If the killer does like tunnel to me or did what that spirit did to you, I just won't say anything to them because I'm just not. I mean, I used to when I first started playing Dead by Daylight. Oh, I was really toxic, but then you kind of learn. Like, obviously, I started playing killer, and like you learn like how matches go. You know, like sometimes survivors can get a really good gen rush going, and then you have no choice but to face camp or to tunnel or to
Yeah.
proximity camp or whatever. So I mean, it is what it is, but
It is what it is.
it is what it is. And we also wanted to talk about, for some reason, TikTok because we were talking about TikTok, and you told
Forgot how
me.
we brought that up.
I don't remember how we brought it up. I think I was just telling you about. I asked you if you had a TikTok because I'm on TikTok now. If you want to follow me on TikTok, my TikTok is KJ Del Rey, like anything else. I
You
think it's
just wanted
that.
to advertise it,
Just
huh?
wanted to advertise it. I mean, if I know who you are, I'll follow you back. Like, no big deal. Like, I make videos on there too sometimes. And I might just send you funny videos on there. But, I was asking Alex if he had it. And he told me that
Oh, that's right.
he only made an account and downloaded the app because there was this time when we thought that they were gonna like delete and shut down TikTok.
Yeah.
So you wanted to be able to sell your phone for thousands of dollars on eBay because it had TikTok on it.
Exactly. Like that was the dream right there.
That was
That
his
was
plan. That was
that was
what
the
he was like.
plan.
He was like, "Yeah, I have TikTok, but I don't use it." And I'm like, "Well, then what do you have it for?" And then he explained to me like, "Oh, well, it was gonna get shut down, and I wanted to sell it for sell my phone for thousands of
Yeah, because you're
dollars."
gonna get rationed at that
Exactly.
point.
And I'm like, "You dumbass! Like, why? Like, if TikTok shut down, it would." If you would click on TikTok, it would like just be a blank screen. I don't even know what would happen. What happened
Maybe.
with we were talking about Flappy Bird too because Flappy Bird actually
Yeah.
did get deleted.
It got deleted. It didn't even have any like microtransactions or anything, but it got deleted. Is what? Too many rage phones
Too
just
many
throwing shit.
rage. Yeah, too much rage. Well, the owner was sickened by how much he made people rage, but it's like you didn't have a hard time when you were testing it out and creating it yourself. Like, I
Nah,
don't
he was too
know.
good, KJ.
He was too good. He had to have
He
been.
was a pro.
He was a
Probably
pro at
never
it.
lost. Probably
I
just
mean,
released it thinking it was too easy.
yeah, just trolling or whatever. I thought personally when played Flappy Bird, I personally thought it was BS. It was hard. It was rage inducing for sure.
Did it have ads? Because if so, then he must have made money, right? If not, then I think he just did it
Um,
for free.
it was a free app, but it
Yeah.
probably had ads on it. It had to have.
Because if so, then that man made bank.
Yeah, but if he was making bank, why would he be like, "Oh, I want to delete it because I'm upset because people are raging out on it"? Like, who cares? Like, do you really think the Dark Souls and Bloodborne developers are like, our customers and our supporters are having a hard time because they're raging and they're breaking their PCs and their TVs over this? Like, no, they're making money off of it, and
Make it.
just like
Oh.
why, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, they're first of all they're making money off of it, and second of all they know that that their fans want to be tortured because that's basically the whole Dark Souls and Bloodborne community. Like, they just want to be tortured, it seems like.
I was gonna. Oh, I don't. Now I don't even remember what you said. I was gonna say like it sounded like he had to speak with God. He was like, "You must shut down Flappy Bird," and he was like, "Yes, sir."
It was something like that. I mean, same thing with Crash. Like, people think that Crash is like rage and oh my gosh, can't pass it, break my computer over the high road level. And it's like, to me, I fly right through it. I always have. Like, I never understood why people have such a hard time with Crash. You know, like,
KJ's a real trooper.
I'm a legend. When I mean, I don't, and that's saying a lot because I don't, credit myself for anything that I do. But one thing that I can vouch for is that I am a freaking legend at the old school Crash games.
Write that in the history books, boys.
I platinumed Crash Bandicoot 1 and 3. I never did Crash 2 just because I was so exhausted because I did the time relics for Crash 1 and Crash 3 back to back. I did like the 100% run for those back to back. So I was pretty exhausted, and then I just, I got out of the groove of it because um, once you get in that groove, it's very hard to get back into it because you know how it is because you did the time trials as well. But when you speed run, even when you're just trying to like normal play something, you're trying to go through it as fast as you can, and it's like a disease almost. And that's why there's speedrunners and stuff because they're so accustomed to like learning things, like learning what all the cutscenes and you gotta go this way. They're used to learning that so quick because like that's what they're always doing.
Hmm. Those men are like on the verge of hacking for the speed run.
Literally. And the only Crash game that I could say was rage-inducing a bit was Crash 4, kind of.
Mm. Like I got tight occasionally at this one, but like I never. Actually, no. There was a time where I just played the level once and I was like, "Alright, that's it. My career's done."
Mm-hmm.
It's over. But like other than that, I don't think I've really had any rage-inducing moments.
I don't
Uh,
think I did either. If I just watch back on my streams, if and somebody call me out if I did, I'm pretty sure I was started like complaining and whining or whatever, but I never give up. I damn well finished that level, but I complained the entire way through it.
I think I remember the only ways I actually did time relics in like the older Crash games was when you fucking did them, and I was like, alright, time for me to show
Mhm.
up and blast this record out of the park.
Exactly. Like when I did that whole live stream like on my 1 year anniversary of streaming, I was like, we're going to platinum Crash 1 and the last time trial that I needed to complete was freaking what is
Sunset Vista?
Sunset Vista and
Yeah.
that one. Oh my! It was like the last one I needed. It was that in Native Fortress. It was Native, or I don't know if it was Native Fortress. I don't remember what the hell it was, but it was mostly Sunset Vista, and
Yeah.
Sunset Vista wasn't hard or anything. It was long. That was the whole thing
Yeah.
of it.
It
It
was a
was
marathon.
yeah, it was an extremely long level, and when you're doing a time trial, there's no checkpoints. You basically have to no death run the level as quick as you can.
Hmm.
And I would keep getting to the very end, or I would keep getting to a certain part and dying. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is just not a level for doing this on. Like, it's just too much. And I ended up getting the Platinum Relic on it, which I was so shook about. I'm like the first time I completed it, I'm like, if I get a bronze relic my first time completing it, I just don't want to do it anymore. I think I might just give up. Like, cause I could not even get through it once.
Yeah. Then you got the platinum, and then I knew, alright, as long as I beat her time, I definitely got the platinum.
And I think you beat my time by like, um, I'd have to
Like a couple
check.
seconds,
A couple
right?
seconds, yeah. And I was basically just like, GG, I'm not doing it again. I don't want to beat your time. Like, I was completely fine with him doing that because I'm like, I don't want to do it again. It's terrible. It made me cry.
And I think there was one on Crash 3 I also did. It was like one of what was it? The level where it's like the people in their houses where they were like throwing like Molotovs at you. It was like nighttime.
Oh, that was, I know what, I think it was Hanem High or something
Oh,
like that. It was the one that was like Aladdin.
yeah. I beat it, and then after I beat it, I went at it again
Oh
to
my
get
god.
a better time. But like that took a total of 30 minutes, I think. Or it took like 8 minutes for me to beat your time originally, and then
Mm,
it took like 18 more minutes to beat my own time.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I actually just decided to speed run like the attempts I had, pretty much.
I think that that is all we have time for on this week's podcast. I really want to thank Fake Vigilante Alex for participating and doing this with me. We
Yep.
had a lot of fun. If you want to see me and Alex do another podcast together, let us know and give us topics to talk about because we can't think about these topics on our own, even though we did this time.
Mm-hmm. Kind of just have to
So,
like talk about some random shit one time, and then we got it.
exactly. But thank you so much for listening. I will see you guys next Sunday night.